Hello, football fans. Welcome back to Goalside. By watching our videos, you'll get a golden opportunity to win a $100 Amazon gift card. It gets better. All you have to do is like this video, subscribe to our channel, and type out the hidden message you'll find somewhere in the video in your comment. People say that football's mainly played for the fans, and they're right. The passion is what drives communities and teams to come together so the players can leave their hearts on the pitch, with hardcore fans supporting them from the stands. However, some fans are just crazier and more dedicated than others. We'll take a look at some extremes in the world of football and what makes them so unique. Galatasaray. There are two things Galatasaray is famous for. It's one of the oldest and traditionally the strongest Turkish football clubs, and it has some of the wildest and most passionate fans in the stands. Their peak arrived in 2000. Galata were facing Leeds United in the UEFA Cup semi-final. The stakes were enormous, and both clubs were desperate to get the European glory. Two sets of fans met in Turkey, and it was on. A bunch of English fans arrived the day prior to the match, and it was all the Turks needed at the time. The evening before the match was very turbulent in Istanbul on that fateful day of April the 6th. English fans were provoking the local Turks, and some minor fights broke out. However, when Galatasaray's most extreme fractions got into it, there was no more joking. Two Leeds fans ended up stabbed to death, leading to one of the most tragic outcomes of hooligan clashes. The trouble continued even after Galatasaray qualified for the finals, where they would face Arsenal in Copenhagen. This time, 4 fans from both sides were stabbed, with countless injured in the famous 2000 UEFA Cup Finals riot. Boca Juniors. Argentinians have a reputation for being extremely passionate, often wearing their hearts on their sleeves, saying what's on their mind no matter the consequences. But sometimes that passion can give birth to some of the most extraordinary moments in football. Just tune into a Boca Juniors match at home, no matter who they play against. La Bombonera holds a cult status for a reason, with its unique stands and the fans that never stop singing, no matter the result or the outcome, as long as the players give it their all. Thus, it's no wonder that some of them are regularly taking up credit loans just so that they can follow their club to the farthest ends of the continent if need be. So, when Boca were playing in an epic Madrid final with River Plate, there was no hesitation. A fan member, Nicolas Matera, once spoke to Marca, where he explained, "I know people who have been divorced directly as a result of Boca. They were told it is Boca or me. It ended up being Boca. It's something that can't be stopped, and there are thousands of stories." There are some who have literally offered us their car in exchange for the flight and entrance to the game. Many people have also left their job to follow Boca or been sacked. They were told they couldn't have the day off and could decide on work or Boca. As I said, there are so many stories. Some are giving up their entire life savings to buy tickets and asked to sleep in the gardens of houses. Well, there's some passion for you. You can't help but admire the Argentinians, even though their actions might seem a little crazy. Millwall. You can't create a list like this without at least mentioning one of the most famous groups of fans, the Millwall fans. Everything about them screams old school. They still represent the somewhat lost spirit of English football outside of the pitch, often promoting hooliganism and clashes with other fans. Perhaps they gained their fame through the movie Green Street Hooligans, but the reputation really is there for a reason. The opposition players and the fans always feared the den, especially in the 20th century when there was a lot less control of what happened in the stands. Carl Wiggins once wrote about Millwall fans, "It's a huge generalization and possibly unfair, but there is a nasty element to certain sections of the Millwall crowd. They reminded me, however, of soldiers in the Crusades, the Wars of the Roses, or the Norman Conquest. Thick, but willing to fight anyone if told to." Wisla Krakow. The Poles generally have a reputation as some of the fiercest and perhaps even the strongest fan bases in the world. Unlike the previously mentioned, they appear almost like an army, ready to go into a battle. However, Wisla Krakow fans are far from just ordinary low-life hooligans. They're capable of producing some of the best pyro shows the world's ever seen, with groundbreaking choreography and innovative and creative ideas to boost their team. Nobody wants to get in a fight with these guys, not even the police. In 2006, the big riots came out when Wisla Krakow and the Legia Warsaw Ultras collided, leading to over 50 police officers injured, more than 30 hospitalized, but with also around 230 hooligans detained in prison that day. The Ultras from all around the world are moving the limits of fandom and sometimes even normal behavior. And while hooliganism and fighting on the street with potential civil casualties is very dangerous and negative, their stadium performances can often be mind-blowing. And after all, Ultras are a big fan of football and culture, both for the good and the bad. Passion is the purpose of football, and nobody has more of that than the fans on our list.